Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. My Joe, man, we're on the precipice of fall camp opening. I think it's going to be around August 6th. That's the target date. And we've mentioned this before, but there's actually some legit optimism surrounding the football program. And, we talked about before the quarterback position is something to be excited about. But, in going to spring ball and then even since then, some additions they've made, Tech has really improved depth. Throughout the roster. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying they couldn't use more. Coach Wells and his staff would tell us, hey, we need to keep working on this. But there are some guys that not just the headline guys that, a lot of people have written about, but there's some guys maybe on the second team or below or who haven't really done it yet that could break out this season, and I'm really interested to see who your potential breakout performer might be for Texas Tech this season.
Man, and looking at this assignment, I could have gone any number of different directions, which is a very good thing. Yeah. I tell you guys who popped into my head that I'm not going with, like Xavier White at running back. I think that's a very talented guy. If he stays healthy, he can be a contributor back there.
I would have gone with Shadarius Townsend because he had an amazing spring, and his speed was palpable on the edge, even in the spring game.
Sure. So there's a couple of running backs for you. The two young freshman receivers, Jaron Bradley and J.J. Sparkman.
Yes.
These 6'4", 6'5" guys that can really move and catch the ball. L.B. Moore is a defensive lineman, a young freshman. I'm excited to see, but I'm going with the tight end. Mason Tharp.
Mason Tharp, okay.
This guy, we're talking, he has weapon written all over him. He's 6'8", 250. And now he's no Jakeem Grant, but this guy, for a man his size, he can move. And Tech has a good starting tight end, Travis Coots. There's no doubt about it. But I've got a feeling that Tharp is going to be one of those guys that Sonny Cumbie is going to turn into somebody they're really going to use in the passing game. What I've seen of him, he catches what comes into his area code. He's not afraid to go over the middle. And there's might be some defensive players who are afraid for him to come over. You don't want to tackle a brick wall if you don't have to. But I'm excited about this guy, and we'll see what he can bring. But that's my breakout guy.
I like that because Tharp, what he looks like, is one of those Iowa State tight ends that just come in and have dominated, Big 12 defenses.
Yes.
So I really like that. I'll go to the other side of the ball. I definitely agree with what you're saying on the receivers, but also, a Trey Cleveland, who people don't think about him being a big receiver. He's 6'4", and he can run, and he looked really good in the spring. And then I even mentioned Loic Fuaji. One of the highest rated recruits that they've had. So
another 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, who could run and do some things athletically, and he had a pretty big catch, I think, against Baylor towards the end of this. Baylor or Kansas, I can't remember. And a really nice touchdown catch. So they have a lot of talent there, especially if EZ comes back healthy like we're all expecting, like Coach Will said in Big 12 Media Day. But on the other side of the ball, somebody I'm hoping could bounce back from injury who, he started off the season looking really good last year and then suffered a really tough arm injury, is Nelson Mbanasor. I know the coaches are really high. Coach Randolph, the defensive line coach, he's really high on Nelson. That's somebody who I think, if he can stay healthy, can be a guy who in some key moments in Big 12 games could step up and get you a sack here or a big tackle for loss there. And look, one thing that Tech hasn't had, this is almost, not quite, but almost as much of a reason for optimism for Tech this year as quarterback is the depth they're starting to develop on defensive line. We know about the linebackers. They've added to the secondary, which I'm still we'll see how they put all that together. But the defensive line, I think they're starting to add quality veteran depth. And I think Mbanasor is a big part of that. So hopefully he can stay healthy. Yes. There's a lot of excitement. Like I said, I think before we've had to kind of manufacture optimism, especially me, and Joe's like, I ain't doing that. But this year, I haven't had to do that. It's been legit, and that's been fun to not have to work so hard to create that. And I know for one, I can't wait to get into fall camp and see how some of these position battles are breaking down. But Maya, Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.